Fascist architecture of my own design.
Your career is over! Your career is over! We saw it! Shot him for nothing! Nothing! No reason! Back up!
Oh, I think they're directly on topic. You know, that's about niggers being lynched. I feel like I said it in a phone call yesterday when I called the court office. I said, look, when I walk into Delaware, I know and I feel like I am a nigger.
Stand up and be counted. Show the world that you're a man. Stand up and be counted. Go with the Ku Klux Klan. We are a sacred brotherhood who love our country true. We always can be counted on when there's a job to do.
I'm calling the police are coming.
Hold on just a minute.
There's a man in my yard.
Silver Lake, Washington Street. Subject yelling for help.
There's a man laying in my yard.
What's he saying?
Oh my goodness.
What's he saying?
He's hollering and laying down. He's saying help, help. Now he said call 911.
Okay. Did he say that he's robbed?
Yes. Oh, Stephen, stay away from me.
That apparently he was robbed.
Robbed, and they tried to kill him.
A white truck apparently in the area.
He's all beat up.
Okay.
So they need
him trying to
yes.
Washington Street. The subject to be in the RV's backyard. He's apparently been assaulted. Does he need an ambulance? Ask him if he wants an ambulance.
Yes. Does he need an ambulance? Yes.
Yes. And what'd he say? He said, motherfucker, nigga, get in the motherfucking vehicle right now before I blow your motherfucking head off. And that was that.
Taking reports on it.
They did not take no reports. They just made a mockery out of the whole situation.
Did they tell you why they didn't take any reports?
They didn't tell me nothing. Then when I went to the, when me and Miss Anna went to the police station, they told us to get up out of there or they were going to make a false report against us.
But I don't feel safe there.
Okay.
No.
Why don't you feel safe?
Because those black men, I have the letter written back from AG Den, where Dr. Issa and the whole community, I have the tapes from where the community talked about those lynchings. And another man described how he ran and got away from those lynchings. Yet despite all of that prima facie and more than prima facie evidence, despite all of that, Den writes back and says, you know what, the evidence indicates that those were suicides. Okay? I'm going to tell you right now, ain't no black man going to go commit suicide and hang himself from a tree. Okay? And plus you have the other witness claiming how he...
What are you talking about?
The 5 men. There were 5 men that died after 2010.
Let's face it, folks. Governor Markell's legacy is now forever tainted, and potential presidential candidate Joe Biden should be ashamed. While Baltimore takes all the national attention, what we continue to see in this country time and time again is that black lives really don't matter, and they don't matter in Delaware either. Now, I've covered stories where some white lives did matter as well. But the problem is particularly pronounced against blacks, and all of this goes back decades to the Baldus study. That's Baldus. Google it for you legal scholars. Now, what type of people are defending the police on the public fora in this instance? Okay. Interestingly, 7 years after our first meeting, I see a potty-mouthed Bill Christie, a.k.a. Lower Slower Delaware, who falsely befriended me when I was investigating police abuse against whites in Franconia, New Hampshire. Lico Kenny shot a notoriously abusive cop before multiple felon Greg Floyd picked up the cop's gun. It was Corporal Bruce McKay, and executed Mr. Kenny on the spot, and they covered it up. Now, more on Floyd and Joe Biden later, but Christie at the time identified himself as a judge, advocate, general attorney in the armed forces. And then he turned on me and said that I had no arguments whatsoever and that there was no cover-up. Coming to find out, he never was an attorney of any kind. So the more I exposed, he called me a nigger and a motherfucker in my voicemail. I put it on YouTube. That real professional, you know, kind of a potty mouth creep. And he tried to get it removed, and he failed. But anyway, that's how Delaware is. racist. So today, first we will watch the lies in action over in Bloomfield, New Jersey, where the police are facing a lawsuit for covering up video and lying about unlawful threatened use of deadly force and evidence tampering, and then we'll move on to Delaware.
A cop on my left with a gun pointed at me, and there was one on my right side with a shotgun pointed. I'm afraid that I might get shot.
If you got out. The tape not initially turned over is on the dash of a second police car that comes from the opposite direction, crosses the median into ongoing traffic, and then strikes Jeter's car. There is no mention of that in any police report. When Jeter first told his attorney that part of the story,
it was incredible. I didn't believe his story at that particular point in time.
So you finally believed him then?
Yes.
The next thing I know, as he's coming around the car, the glass gets busted, and all the glass goes in my face.
Get out the car!
Your hands are up.
My hands are up. As soon as he opened the door, one of the officers reached in and just punched me in my face. As he's trying to take the seatbelt off, he's elbowed me in my jaw. And I'm like, ah! And he's like, stop trying to take my gun. Stop resisting arrest. Stop trying to take my gun. And as he's saying that, I just knew, and I was thinking in the back of my mind, like, okay, this is going to go wrong.
Get down! Stop resisting! Stop resisting! Why are you trying to get my gun? Get off my gun!
And right before when they opened the door about to put me in, the officer hits me in the back of the head again.
As soon as prosecutors saw this video, they dismissed all of the charges against Jeter. Interesting to note, an investigation by Bloomfield PD's scandal-plagued Internal Affairs Division had found no wrongdoing by police officers.
That's how they treat, anyone they don't like, but especially black males, and I'm sick of it. I have successfully represented and successfully sued police officers, and I'm telling you, I've had police in Ohio found liable for making my client a victim of violent crime. Michael Israel, V96-61481 in the Court of Claims. Look it up. They try to hide it now online, but I've got the proof on my website. This country, and especially in Delaware, the home of Joe Biden and Governor Markell, Judge Robert B. Young, all of these people.
And the cop that's holding them is the cop that jumped out of the car and said, he's running your way, shoot him.
Shoot! Y'all better get low. Shoot him, put it up. That y'all want everybody. Racist fucking cop. They gonna try to cover it up. They gotta get lost. No guns down there. He seen it. Too many people saw it. He saw it.
The one by his head is the one that jumped out of the car and said, he's running your way, shoot him. I heard him. I watched him jump out. Shot down.
I wish somebody would have put that in that thing already to shoot. I heard him. I said, what the fuck?
It was right after that white boy said shoot him. The one that says probation on his shirt with blue gloves on him with glasses.
He always trying to be doing something. He might get handcuffs on him. He already shot him.
Stephanie! I'm trying to record. I'm the reporter for you guys. They're gonna whoop his ass.
Yep. Randy Newman had it right. These are rednecks up north.
the judiciary all the way down from the Supreme Court, all of them.
Why are y'all doing all that? Really? Really?
Yeah, what are you doing?
What are y'all doing, man? Oh, God.
Now, Governor Markell had the nerve to appear at a race relations event this summer and mention a dearth of diversity in the government sector after he was the principal agent in the fascist architecture that appointed Betty Lou McKenna as the recorder of deeds after a black man beat her on at least 3 vote counts. That's Lamar Gunn. Now, in this case yesterday, I demanded all of the 911 audio and video camera information from the state. Many people claim that Terrence Fletcher did not have a gun in his immediate possession when he was shot. Now, let's get one thing straight. As a former law enforcement attorney and someone who has successfully sued and represented law enforcement over the years, and as a journalist, I can tell you that police lie, especially when it comes to potentially wrongful use of force. That is why it is constitutional to run video of any public official during the prosecution of their duties, subject to reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions. This is true in the lobby of the Kent County, Delaware Recorder of Deeds, too, where I came to investigate the stolen election against Lamar Gunn a few months ago. That's what brought me into Delaware anyway. But Judge Robert B. Young won't admit that. More on that later, too, and in my other videos that you can find at Mortgage Movies Journal. Now, then in Delaware, let's recall the kick in the face to a handcuffed black suspect. Let's recall the 5 male deaths that AG Matt Denn determined to be suicides, as if black males are apt to go to public parks and hang themselves with belts. Let's recall the 911 tape that I just obtained regarding Henry Fordham, who narrowly escaped an attempted lynching, according to him. Dover police refused to provide this tape for years, but now you can hear all of it and learn a lot more about how Delaware really works as a tool of oppression, driven by big money and banking interests, on the journal pages linked in this YouTube video. Now, of particular note, and fully documented on my pages also, is how Joe Biden promised me that his administration would crack down on multiple gun felons like Greg Floyd, a white man, when he violated 18 U.S. Code 922 G1 on at least one occasion, and to my count 2. But they did nothing, and he went on to criminally threaten his neighbor with a gun. I've got the courtroom video of his conviction and violent outbursts on my pages. And major media isn't going to do a damn thing about it because I've been in contact with them. I've given them this information, and maybe it's not the reporters, but it's certainly the editors are going to stuff it. All right? So it's not justice, folks. It's just us.
We're rednecks. We don't know